purposes of you being able to see this on camera, I'm going to colour my water blue. So what I tend to say is you want an even wash of water. I'm using a wash brush to apply it. I'll often go over twice with the cotton paper. So you can see that's nice and even. There's a little bit of a ruddy bit in there, but that should settle quite nicely. There's usually a nice sheen to the paper. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on camera. So that's a cotton paper. This next one is a wood pulp paper. So classically with a wood pulp paper you've got less time and you need to apply less water. So I tend to do one coat and you've got that even consistency again. One coat, not that you want absolutely no puddles in there, it's a nice soft sheen. So that's how much I would add for doing a wet in wet wash. So it says when doing a wet in wet wash, that's how much I would add. I would then come in, so let's pop in some paint into each of these. I'm going dark cloudy sky. And this one. Maybe you've got to work a lot quicker with the Bockingford. You've still got time, but the wood pulp paper will dry quicker. You can already see, look, there's bits down here that have started to dry. This one, still wet. It's a difference in paper. So the next thing I wanted to go through here, how wet does it need to be when you're adding details like trees into a wet in wet background? So I'm going to choose this. I'm just using what's on my palette here. I've got a violet colour, violet trees. It's working. So this one, this is the wood pulp paper. So that sheen is already going off. There's less of a sheen, so I need to come in now. Get that paint in there for those different trees. In fact, in places it's very slightly dry. If it's too wet, it just tends to flow too much. So this is still the cotton paper and I'm still just waiting for that sheen. It's still very, very glossy to just go off a little bit. Just try and come in. So you just need a very little amount of sheen. So the next thing I want to go through is if you've added too much water, what can you do to help it? So let me just think how I'm going to show you this. I'm going to add it just to the top here. I know it's paint, but we were thinking this is blue water. So what you get is puddles. The worst thing you can do if you've got a large scale wet in wet sky is dab with tissue. If you dry your brush off with kitchen towel and then just lift that paint out, dab it off, that is the best way to take out some paint, and then it will settle nicely and not create any marks. On this one, if I show you what you can do if you've got too little amount of water. Too little amount of water, you want to take an extra bit of painting. So here it started to watermark because I've got a little bit that's dried out. If I add water into that, it will just watermark the rest of that, it'll bloom out. However, if I take thicker paint in, that rectifies that. The other thing you can do if you notice it straight away, because there's like 2 times you notice it, sometimes you'll start going on with the wet and wash and there's a little bit that you've missed, you can dab that in with water straight away. If you notice as it's drying that there's too little water in a place, then it's adding a bit more of a paint that will help that and rectify that. So I hope that helps.